Hello and welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting as we have the Underdog Racing League here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway for the Florida Man 165 presented by Ultimate Siding and Gutter LLC of Louisiana here for the Underdog Racing League as we kick off the third race of the regular season as these drivers look to build momentum after 3 weeks of straight chaos at Daytona. They come here to Homestead to see what they can do here tonight at this mile-and-a-half track here in Florida. But first, let's give a shout out to all these sponsors we have here tonight at the Underdog Racing League and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And we want to give a special shout out to Ultimate Siding and Gutter LLC of Louisiana for sponsoring tonight's race here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Our customers say we're the best in the business. We specialize in residential and commercial construction. We have been in business for over 15 years. We only use the best materials and are dedicated to completing each project in a timely manner. There's nothing more important than having a house to call a home. So make sure you go check out Ultimate Siding and Gutter LLC as they are the race sponsor here tonight at the Florida Man 165 here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. And now let's give a shout to our sponsors here, Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And first we want to give a special shout out to ButtKicker. As every game deserves a truly immersive experience, the ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to ButtKicker.com where you can purchase your ButtKicker Gamer 2 or their other products there they have on their website, and you can use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off there of any purchase at ButtKicker.com, and then you can feel what you've been missing. Next, we want to give a shout out to the McConey Setup Shop. The McConey Setup Shop is your setup shop, or is your home for iRacing setups and the official setup shop of the Richmond Raceway Esports team, building the number 46 and 90 in the Coca-Cola iRacing series of Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak. With everything from legends to cup cars, we've got you covered. Dirt setups for late models, modifieds, wing sprints are also available as well. Coaching with professional drivers such as eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion Zach Novak, his teammate Jimmy Mullis, River Hayes, and more are also available. And remember, at the McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but they're your victories. You can head over to McConeySetupShop.com today, where you can use our promo code FFB10 to get 10% off of any purchase there of a setup at the McConey Setup Shop. And remember, that's FFB10. So make sure you go on head over there to www.McConeySetupShop.com today. And remember, there are setups, but they're your victories. Thank you to all the sponsors who help make it happen here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and the Underdog Racing League, as it's a special night of racing here as we look to be closing out the last few seconds of our practice session before these drivers head off to a 5-minute qualifier here tonight. I'm Zach Hall up in the booth, and I'll be calling the action here at the Homestead Miami Speedway as these drivers look to take on this mile-and-a-half rough surface that widens out pretty well, and we should see some great racing out there tonight. And I expect nothing less from these guys out here at the Underdog Racing League, especially in this Xfinity car. We're going to see them all over this surface, trying to find any little bit of grip and a little bit of speed that they can find. And at the moment, that's the end of your practice session there, as Jason Finsler, our winner from last week at the Daytona Road Course and our defending series champion from last season, on top of that board there in practice. We'll have to see what he can produce in this 5-minute qualifying session as we head off into it now, as we have 22 drivers here tonight to take on this Homestead Miami Speedway for 110 laps. We also have 2 stages here tonight, so can someone here pull off the Freaky Fast Grand Slam? We'll have to see. But remember, stages at lap 30, then lap 60, and then we have a 50-lap run down to the very end of this race. 65% fuel load, 5 sets of tires tonight, so 4 in the pits for these drivers, as the 1 extra set they have is on their car. But we should have some special racing out here tonight on a beautiful Wednesday night here at the Homestead Miami Speedway, as the first couple cars starting to get their lap times began. I believe it'll be interesting to see which lap is the faster lap. We do see some tracks the second lap being the quicker lap, but some tracks we see the first lap being the quickest lap. And which line will produce the most speed? That's also a huge question I think a lot of drivers are asking themselves here tonight as they head off into this qualifying session with about 3 minutes remaining here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here, though, again tonight. As always, on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, we just much appreciated. And if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, that notification bell, and that subscribe button to help us get up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021 here. We want to go to 2022 as 1,000 subscribers. That is our goal we set, and we're marching our way there as we're already up to 955, so less than 50 to go, and you could be one of those special subscribers to be the first 1,000 here to experience Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So thank you again for tuning in. As always, hit that thumbs up and notification bell to know when we go live each and every night here. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in out there. And we got some good chats out there from Sean and Jake. Jake's surely to be wrong. Locks of race. Fensler wins handily. Stutter has an engine failure. That's Jake Williams' prediction. And Sean Latin says, watch out for Robert Rader there in the 53. We've seen him be very strong at Daytona at the plate track. As we'll see what he can produce here at the 1.5 miles at the Homestead Miami Speedway. As right now, Robert Rader on top of the board with his time. We'll have to see if any other driver can go out there and put down a quicker time. So at the moment, not many drivers matching their practice times as 32.94 from Fensler in practice. We'll see what he produces on his first lap, but a lot of drivers around the 33.0 margin as qualifying. It's getting close between the top up here, but now joining me up in the booth to call the action alongside me here tonight and run the cameras, our producer, Robert Moore Jr. Welcome, Robert, and thanks for joining me tonight.
Oh, well, no, thank you for joining me there, sir. All right, well, we're here, like you said, at Miami Homestead here, down in Miami. You know what? I'm so tired of Florida. Underdog, can we
been in Florida forever?
Can we leave Florida, please? I mean, come on, guys. We've been here.
It's a beautiful place, but a little too hot and sticky for my liking.
Okay, I agree, man. That's where we go next week. Let's just forget it and let's leave now.
Nashville Super Speedway. I cannot wait for that one, Robert. That one that got circled for us because personally, I haven't even turned a lap on that track yet. So that's a newcomer for us, and I know that track puts on a heck of a show supposedly with how it drives. So I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah, it does put on a great show. I've seen a couple races ran there. We've never broadcasted one yet, but you know what? We will next week. But like Zach said, welcome everybody here to round number 5 here with these gentlemen. And, man, it's going to be a fun time to finish off down here in Florida and see if anybody has something for Jason there. See if he's going to start, putting things on a roll here, Zach, or does somebody knock him off his podium real quick after a really strong season last year in the trucks. Well, hopefully we'll see if somebody has something for him here tonight, which looking at the lap times here, qualifying, whoa, wow, 33.12, 33.13, 33.14. So this might become an interesting race here for Fensler there.
Yeah, it definitely is. Looking throughout that leaderboard there, all the way down to the 8th position with Kevin Orlando Jr., less than a 10th separating those 8 drivers. So that right there, close to lap times, and especially with the Xfinity car here, which is not, wide open. It's nowhere near wide open around here. So drivers really doing the best that they can to get the best lap time and keep it close here. Fensler might have a handful tonight. We've seen him have very dominant performances last year, but this is going to be the first true benchmark we see in these Xfinity cars here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway.
All right, well, qualifying's ending here, bud.
Yeah, it looks like it's come to an end here as we'll go ahead and pull up our starting grid here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway for the Florida Man 165. As there it is, Jason Fensler home pole with a great lap time from himself, 33.126 to Robert Rader there in the 2nd position. Third is going to be Dylan Walterman. 4th is going to go to Nick Alves. 5th position there is Parker Johnston. 6th is going to be Eddie Wildermuth. 7th position is going to go to Justice Murphy. 8th is going to be Kevin Orlando Jr. 9th, Peyton Presley. 10th is going to go to Sean Huffstutler. 11th is going to be Trevor Earhart. 12th is going to go to James Loveland. 13th, Brett Somers. 14th is going to go Marshall Wilson. 15th, Justin Stunnard. 16th, Jacob Sechkovich. 17th is going to go to Christopher Heights. 18th, David Buell. 19th is going to be Dan Moyer. 20, it's going to be Cody Dorsey. 21st, Dennis Steele. And rounding out your field in the 22nd position will be Scott Kerberg, as that's our starting lineup here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway, as the drivers look to grit up here on pit road to get this thing kicked off. You know, one thing we got to focus on here, Robert, stages. We got a stage at 30 and 60. With a 65% fuel load, I think these drivers should have no problem making it to those margins. We'll have to see how close it is for these guys, but I believe they should have plenty of fuel to make it. I think the biggest thing we're going to have to see is who can manage the tires the best, because this racetrack right here, very abrasive and a lot of fall off.
Very true, very true. And also, we're going to have to pay attention. They might be able to make these stages here, Zach, but what about that last stint to the checkered flag? They're going to have to probably make a pit stop in between there, correct?
I would believe so. 50 laps is... See, if you made 50 laps with 65% fuel, I think you might have stuffed a little bit of extra fuel in there than 65%. So I definitely think we'll see a pit stop in there, which it'll be shortened a little bit by the caution lap. So it should be around 47, 46 laps once we get going. Still don't see anybody making that distance, though.
Well, you just gave out our secret trick there on the 99, Walterman. You know, he runs our freaky fast car. Now you go and tell him what we're doing. Really, way to go, Zach.
But I unfortunately forgot I was the crew chief tonight also. So I gave up our strategy, unfortunately.
That's all right. That's all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with Underdog Racing League. As the green flag waves, off we go for 110 laps.
Great start throughout the field here as they head down to turn number 1. Looks like Vince are going to clear that 53 of Robert Raiders. He slides down to the bottom groove also with Walterman there, the Freaky Fast Machine sliding up in the third. Ooh, Alva's in the 24. Big loose moment for him coming out of 2. Seeing those cold tires come up to heat. This is the time when the tires are most vulnerable.
It takes about a lap or 2 for these tires to get, up to temp, like almost at any track that we go to there, Zach. And, once they get these things up to temperature, they should be able to start sticking a little bit more better here at Homestead. But I do know going through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, you have to watch what line you run. But this track is very, very racy. From what I've seen, you basically really want to run the high line in 1 and 2. And then look at 3 and 4. You want to try to make it, go down to the white line, let it slide up, and then come back down to the white line and then get out. Am I correct? Is that the best way to get around here?
Just from what I've seen lately at this racetrack, it seems like that seam, it was classically the best line here, right along the seam, through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But I tell you, there's definitely grip to be found out there. I still think putting your left sides on that seam is going to be the key thing to do. But it does really matter about balance. If you're a little bit loose, you put your left sides on that seam, it's going to de-wedge that car, going to really loosen that thing up. Now, if you run below that seam, you're going to tighten your race car up. So it really depends on how you're feeling your balance out as you wear these tires to where you're going to want to run on this racetrack, I believe.
All right, there's a little bit of information as you just left here. Now, I know we're going to come and ask you a lot of questions here tonight, Zach, because you just left here for Road to Pro. So what would you take away from tonight's race if you were in the Xfinity cars, or from your trucks to put into the Xfinity cars?
Yeah, the trucks are definitely a different animal. They a little bit more throttle time, definitely a lot more less horsepower, less or more downforce also than these cars, and especially more rear downforce than anything. Now, those trucks, when you start putting open setups and road to pro setups in there, they become a handful. The old adage, loose is fast, and it definitely is true. You got to be able to drive the car right on the edge. But biggest thing I take away from that, Robert, is this track is a difficult racetrack. I practiced a lot this past week, working on the line here, and this track is a track that really suits a driver that can go around and search and find stuff. And I think the driver that does that tonight, especially best as everybody here is on a fixed setup, they have the same setup underneath their cars, they have the same thing to work with. I think the driver that finds the grip as the work goes on and finds where that setup is going to be suited to is going to be the critical thing tonight. In the opening 6 laps, though, we're seeing guys all over the racetrack finding different types of speed. So I'm excited to see how this is going to progress.
Yeah, as we got side by side there with the professor, and it looks like Trevor right there in the 25 and the 94 are battling side by side, and you can see he gets a great run there, 3 and 4 coming down, and look at the momentum that the 94 there, Sean gets on the high side, and just watch what he does here. Just exactly what you said there, Zach. He's running that seam, and Sean's not pulling away from him.
It looks like that run gonna work pretty well for the 94. He might not clear the 25. He's trying to get past Earhart there for that 11th position. But looks like the 25 will fight back on the bottom to 3 and 4. But again, the top side and bottom side here are pretty even, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah, iRacing's did a great job on that. This is one of them tracks, like I said earlier. This track can be very, very racy. And what I mean by racy is that it's really great racing where you can get side by side. You can be side by side with the car in front, car behind you. It's 2x2. Sometimes you see that here. It's a very fun track. I remember this used to be a one groove track, and you could only run this line and do this. You know, there for a long time, and then iRacing updated the dynamics of this track and everything, and it's really become very racy, like Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's just very, very racy.
Yeah, it definitely has that same look to it almost as Atlanta, you know, and that's one of the tracks that also received the update too. So I think that's really come down to iRacing, you know, doing a good job, like you said, of updating these tracks, getting them more in line to what we see with the real product in real life, you know, as you know, before this track was very one line dominated, and that could be a little frustrating when you see a race in real life where they run from top to bottom, you know. So iRacing had to go to the drawing board, work on that, and they've definitely gone there. And I'm excited to see what else they can do. You know, we're seeing over time this V7 tire is still very new. We haven't had this tire for very long still, and the dynamic track in the V7 tire, you know, they're still merging together as time goes on, and I'm excited to see how we can get to a point where the lines and stuff change as you run around this racetrack and move around due to the rubber. Right now, I think the rubber's providing grip more than anything, but this track is really what gives us the racing that we're seeing. It is a beautiful thing to see, and I got to shout out iRacing for definitely updating it and get it up to par with what it needed to be.
Yeah, and I agree, and I can't wait for the other tracks to get that update as they keep working on it month to month to month. So shout out to iRacing for that. But man, oh man, we were riding with Kevin there. And going through 3 and 4, you want to talk about a little sunlight. We you know, and that's the thing we always see here, Zach, at Homestead, is that brutal sun going down to either 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. It is blinding until it sets in the, you know, behind the moon, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty bad coming off a 4. Sometimes it can get really, really in your eyes, and it makes it tough to battle. And guys like Nick Alves, James Lovell back here battling for 6th and 7th. Huffstetler's now made it up to 8th there. So you can see, I mean, guys searching all around. You got Earhart back there in the 25 up high on the outside of Stunnard. And guys searching for grip, but it's also when you can't see very well coming off a 4, it makes it hard to be side by side because you kind of lose track of the car ahead when you get blended.
Very true. Well, let's ride along with, see if we can get inside the cockpit here of Loveland, and we'll just ride with him going through 3 and 4 here, and you can see Nick in front of him and see what this sun does to him. And he deals with this for 110 right there, man. Hits it just perfect, and that car actually literally disappeared. Wow.
It literally did. I mean, you lose sight of it, and it's kind of a scary feeling, especially if they're directly right ahead of you. If they have the checkup at all, it could be a disaster. As you can see, Alves up there up top, and look at that level running the bottom, coming out when he comes off the corner though, very, very loose, losing the rear end, losing time, and that 24 making the top work. I'll be interested to see if anybody else starts to move themselves up to that upper group.
So what's causing that there, Zach? Too much wheel input, getting back on the gas, or just the setup in general, making him snappy like that?
There's a lot of causes for that. You know, it could be just a little bit of running right there, that left side tires under that seam, that is going to loosen that car up a little bit there. As he comes off the inside there, is able to get a good power down and actually pull some forward ahead of the 24 as they're going to catch the 27 on Orlando Jr. here, as they're really starting to fly here now as they picked up the pace to get beside the 27. But now the 27 on the door of that 56 is going to slow him up a little bit. But yeah, Robert, like you said, a little bit too much wheel can also cause that sudden, all of a sudden snap loose condition when you get a little bit tight with too much wheel. But maybe just a little bit free with the balance. Something we're going to have to watch for the rest of the race. I don't see too many guys stepping the cars out, so that might have been just a little bit of a snap loose tight condition.
All right. Come back here to Brett. He's in that number 7 with Justin right behind him in that DraftKings. He's looking good. So far, this is week number 5, and so far 4 weeks into it, as this is the 5th week starting. My point that I've been sitting back watching and listening you and Ryan talk, but just watching the drivers overall, coming from the trucks to the X. Am I seeing smoke? No. Okay, maybe not. I thought I seen smoke.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. I'm just seeing things, ladies and gentlemen. But what I was getting at is don't laugh at me, Zach. What I'm getting at is coming from the trucks to the, over to the Xfinity cars. Jason still is just in that bad scenario that not Jason. Jason's actually going pretty good. I meant Justin. Justin just seems like he's not finding any of that luck yet. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing out of the 33. As Jason, it looks like he's starting to find his groove, figuring out these cars. He won last week. He's leading the race right now, almost a 2-second lead over Robert there. So he's looking good. But there's a guy that's standing out to me, Zach, is, and where did he go onto the scoring board? Give me 1 minute. Where's he at?
Ooh, David Buell. He's up here battling for 8th with Orlando Jr. up from 18th. I mean, he's flying right now.
Yeah. Okay. Finish my sentence there, bud. Is Murphy, the 9.
Yes.
From going from the trucks to the Xfinity, I think this is his wheelhouse. I got a funny feeling that this is what he likes to race. I don't know what he would be doing in the Cup cars, but I think he really likes the Xfinity cars from what I've seen in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think you hit that spot on there, Robert. He's really coming to his own. I mean, we've seen him win a stage at the Daytona Road Course last week, compete and have very good longer pace. Again, here, this is a mile and a half. This is our first, I would say, true test of the season for overall pace, other than a road course and a super speedway, where that doesn't make up majority of the schedule. Majority of the schedule is made up by tracks like this. So I think this was going to be a telltale sign. And from what I'm looking at, Murphy right now, quicker than Robert Rader, not as quick as Finsler. Finsler is almost in his own zip code right now with lap times, and Loveland pretty close, actually, still about a 10th off of him. But man, I tell you, Justice Murphy is impressing very much so this season here in this Xfinity car. And I think you're right. This could be his wheelhouse, and it suits drivers differently. This car takes a completely different driving style. This car's a lot more off throttle time, using the brake to slow you down here at these mile and a half, where the truck, you're a lot more quick out the gas, little lifts, and right back into the gas hard into that thing, almost like a light switch. This car takes a lot more of a gradual throttle application and more use of your right foot to drive this thing than just sending the truck. The truck is a lot more of an aggressive truck, in my opinion. It suits those guys, where this car suits a lot more of a laid-back driving style.
I'm trying to figure out here, which is good information here, but what is Jason doing different than anybody else? He is literally running 34.6s to everybody's 33 flats. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, he's 2/10 faster really than anybody on the racetrack almost every single lap. And I was sitting here watching him, riding on board with him. The big thing I noticed, he gets out of the gas very early, gets his right tire's right on that seam, and he waits very late to get on the throttle. And when he gets on the throttle, It's a very straight exit. Not a lot of wheel input, just very straight. And what that does is help keep the rear tires under him and wanting to slide out. And also the front tires wanting to push out because he's waiting so long. He's being very, very patient on the throttle and just being smooth. That's one way I would like to put it.
I call it baby in the car, but
Yeah.
I guess baby in the car sometimes is a good thing.
Very good sometimes.
Wow, I mean, wow. 34.2 to a 35 flat. Robert ran last time.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's in this world right now. Jason, seriously, come back.
Yeah, we talked about it. Would he produce the same type of speed in this car as he did the truck? I had the funny feeling that he would be even quicker, just due to the fact that this car kind of suits his style. He seemed to be a driver where the tracks that mattered less about the draft and less about that and just hitting your marks is where he seemed to be good. And this is what this car brings into fruition. I mean, 34.77 that last time by. James
Unreal.
Loveland, though, 34.81. He has been the driver that's been the closest to him on lap times. He's also drove up from 12th to 4th. So Loveland, don't count him out yet. He is turning some good lap times right there. 34.99 to our leaders, 34.70. I mean, that right there was a big difference. But he's able to match him every few laps. If he can get past Murphy, which he's running both these guys, Robert Rader and Justice Murphy, down here late in this stage, he may be able to get to Murphy. But, this stage is definitely going to help that 56 machine because he's got a lot of pace.
Well, so does David Burrell, too. He's back here running.
Really does.
Yeah, he's running in the 30. He's just basically almost matching Jason and Loveland's lap times there.
And that's so impressive. I mean, maybe we see David Buell not fare the best in the trucks. It had some bright spots last season, but also had some, I would say, not the greatest runs for his 52. Maybe this is where he's going to shine once we get into this Xfinity car. I know Sean Huffsteller, the car ahead of him, said this was going to be the car he shines in compared to that truck, as he's going to be trying to take the 6th position from Alves directly ahead of the 52.
Which it looks like he, they're back and forth right now, side by side, and this is going to help David as these guys battle. That always pulls up the guy in the back. But, we got 2 laps to go here, Zach, until we hit our first stage caution here. And how many sets of tires have they got in here? 4? 3 in pits?
So they'll have 4 in the pits.
4 in the
pits? So plenty of tires here tonight. I don't think tires are going to be too much of an issue unless we start seeing a big rash of yellows. But don't expect that here at the Underdog Racing.
Well, unless it's Super Speedway, but this ain't Super Speedway. Anyways, how's everybody doing out there? I only see 2 likes. We need to get more likes. Don't forget to hit that like. Helps us out. Helps the league out as we are on our white flag here on lap 29 of 110 here. And we already know who won this stage. Maybe his motor will blow up. Throw a hot dog wrapper. Somebody throw something out there. Even though it is a Toyota, so I'm kind of happy.
Hey, he's running very good in that Toyota Supra, that's for sure. And you'd be surprised, Robert, I have a Supra.
What?
Yeah, I drive a Toyota Supra.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
In real life?
No, in the game, in iRacing.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I don't like the dashboard in the Camaro. So I got the Supra. As Finn's going to round out a 4 here in the Toyota Supra here at the Florida Man 165. And win this stage here, presented by Ultimate Siding and Gutter LLC of Louisiana. Congrats to Finsler on stage 1 win here tonight. Pole also. Robert, I tell you what, this driver could be the one that we got to watch out all season, talking about a freaky fast Grand Slam, because we know his performances last season. If he can pull them off again, I think he'll have a few of those in his back pocket.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't understand what that is, do you want to explain to them real quick, Zach, what a freaky fast Grand Slam is?
I would love to, Robert. All right, everybody, we've started something here. I would say in the last half a year here, where we're claiming this to be the freaky fast Grand Slam, where a driver will have to win the pole position, stage 1, stage 2, and the race win. So pretty much sweeping all 4 categories of the race, and pretty much putting their stamp on the night. So we're going to call that the Freaky Fast Grand Slam, as we'll see if Finsler could do it. He's already got 2 of those boxes checked off: pole position and stage 1 win. Can he get stage 2 under his belt and that race win? That's where it gets difficult. We've seen plenty of drivers get the pole, gets 2 stage wins, but the race win always is the toughest thing we see.
Yeah. They can dominate the whole race until the end, and then they lose. We've seen it one too many times.
We've seen it very much last laps and losing the Freaky Fast Grand Slam in just a matter of moments. I mean, it's been taken away from a lot of drivers, and it's a tough feat to pull off. But I tell you what, Jason Finsler, a tough competitor.
All right, as everybody's going to come down pit road here, get some Goodyear freshy tires on there, pack that tank up with 2 cans of Sunoco fuel. Now, if you're Robert Rader there running in second, what can you do different to try to keep up with Jason, as his pace was just unreal that first stint? If you were there, what would you do? What would you try to do to try to keep up with him? I mean, yeah.
That's hard to say, Robert. I mean, when someone doesn't really have, I would say, a weakness. I mean, Finsler is personally a driver that doesn't look to have a weakness at the moment. He is fast in the short run, fast in the mid run, fast in the long run. I mean, it seems like he can just produce over every single lap of a course of a run, and that's what you need to be able to win. Robert Rader is going to have to find something. His pace was good, very strong in the early portion of this race. You know, first 20 laps, I'd say he was very, very close and very competitive, but those final 10 laps of that stage definitely started to fall back from Finsler, as many of the other drivers did too. But he's also going to have some more competition up here now. James Loveland in that 4th position. I believe he took 3rd from Murphy on pit road, so he'll be up there. A few guys definitely surging up the board after some mediocre qualifying positions. So he's going to have a little more competition up here. Maybe even someone to get in front of Finsler. That could have a huge effect, because that clean air can have a huge effect, especially when reading the notes. The guys talked about, the car taking off a little bit loose. That's most likely those cold tires then really starting to plow as those tires are going. And when we say plow, ladies and gentlemen, it means the car just will not turn. You go into the corner, you turn the wheel as much as you can left, but it just wants to keep going straight right out towards the wall. And the only way to help that is just slow down more and more. And these guys seem to be struggling with that as the run goes on. So saving tires is the key. But man, Finsler, he's been the king of the saving tires we've seen so far here at this league.
Well, yeah, that's very true. Well, on this restart here, when we go back green here, if you can get in front of Jason, like you said there, Zach, get him to get that taste of the dirty air, his driving style has to change. You just have to, because like you said, you're going to plow, you're going to head towards the wall, the thing's not going to want to turn. So he's going to be, if that would happen, then he's got to start searching for clean air, try to find the best grip that he has. And if you can keep him behind you, I would say 10, 15 laps into the run, which would be, how many laps? But anyways, keep him back around 10 laps. His tires are going to fall off faster than what normally, because right now, like you said, he got out front. And he's running his pace. He's running his race. He's not pushing the car. He doesn't have to do nothing except do what he wants to do. The goal is to make him do something he don't want to do.
I think taking clean air away from him is going to be very critical.
Just plenty. That you think that's just going to be plenty? I would brake check him, recommend a wall. Everything.
Well, that's Robert saying that. I don't want to make no enemies out on the racetrack. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of driving. I can't be getting from the wall, but man, having the lead is so critical when you're tight. It's so hard to follow, especially when it's tight. I mean, when it's loose when you're got a loose setup, you can follow pretty well, and it's actually nice to be behind somebody. But when you got a tight setup, it really starts to plow. You want to be out in clean air. But I tell you what, pace car's out. You see Finsler can hold on to the clean air. Green flag out in a way as we start stage 2 here on lap number 35, starting 36. As we go down to 1, Robert Rader hanging on second. Murphy trying to fight Loveland for that third position. We'll see who can hang on to that.
Let's say go down the backstretch here side by side. We're going to ride with Loveland going down the backstretch, and we're going to see what this sunshine looks like now as it's set down a little bit farther, but it's still in these drivers' eyes as it looks like Justin is going to try to get that run, and right there, oh my goodness. What happened to the second place car? I don't know. Wow.
I believe. Don't think anything happened.
Yeah, it happened when Loveland was looking at him. He disappeared again.
Oh, really? Did he disappear? I didn't see that.
Yeah, from the sun.
Oh, we got a wreck.
Got a wreck, but the sun blinded Jason.
Oh, you're talking the side. Dane Moyer and Dennis Steele right now on the back straightaway getting spun back around. I think we're going to stay green, though, as they wrecked off the racing surface. But those two drivers with some contact and some damage here to start stage 2. Not looking great for them.
Well, I do appreciate everybody coming out and listening to me commentate. Just to let everybody know, I'm normally not the one, and you should know by now, I don't talk up here. I do other things, but I'm filling in for somebody here tonight. So I'm going to be, Zach's probably lost by now, because I'm going to be blabbing about stupid stuff and not about the race. So I do apologize.
Yeah, he's really making me mad, guys. That's so unprofessional. Doesn't know how to do his job.
I don't.
All he can do is run cameras.
Oh, yeah. Is that all I do? Ow.
Guys, that's all you can do good.
Run cameras.
Guys,
just the cameras. Nothing else. You know, nothing else that you see matters. It's just the cameras.
Okay, I didn't mean that. We'll take that.
Oh, man. Well, we're back here looking at Dylan right now. Walterman, he's down 9 positions here right now, Zach. It looks like he's falling back. Maybe the track's changing he doesn't like because we are getting into the sunset side of things, and I wonder we should end this race under the lights, it looks like.
Yeah, I believe the lights should get going in that final stage. They may come on right at the end of the stage, but we still got some time till then, as it looks like in sim it's about 7:28. So I believe that sun should be going down in the next 30 minutes here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. That's going to be an interesting thing. You know, this track tends to gain front grip, and it seems to be a common theme at these tracks where they gain front grip as it gets a little bit colder. So maybe that'll help the tight condition for these guys. It'll also speed them up, so that will actually make the tire wear somewhat interesting. You can burn up the right front a little more by just going a little faster. So we'll have to watch how the conditions change as night goes on, but you're seeing some good battles here still throughout this field as drivers searching around the track. I mean, that's the one thing Homestead Miami is giving these guys the option to do, is not follow their competition and get out of that dirty air to try to make it pass. And one thing I'm noticing also, Jason Finsler out front right now in the 5, but Loveland, who's got up to 4th, he didn't storm past Murphy and Robert Rader like I expected him to try to get by these guys and maybe try to get to the 5 of the Finsler. I think he may say, you know what, I had to drive myself all the way up to 4th from 12th. I probably used up a little bit too much tire last time. Maybe if I sit here in 4th, hold my track position, save a little tire, I should be able to get by maybe this 9 and this 53 and possibly go challenge that 5. As we know, James Loveland, a very tough competitor. He could be the one to take it to Finsler, and I believe we even seen him win at this racetrack last year in the truck.
Yes, we have. Yeah, he won in the trucks, and it looks like he you might be right there, Zach. It looks like he's settling down, but he is running faster. Oh, wait, we'll see this time by. Okay, it was about a 10th slower that time than Jason. But the 94 of Sean, too. He's right there, 33.8. There's a lot of drivers that figured something out in that first stint, and they're keeping up with lap times, and especially Robert. Robert actually was faster than Finsler that last time by.
Yeah, I mean it's going back and forth right now, and I think Finsler, what he does, he gets a little bit of a gap, then kind of rides for a few laps. So right here, Robert Rayner there that time by two, also faster than Finsler. So that's 2 laps in a row that he's made some time on our racer leader. Maybe he'll find something too. I mean, we can't put that out of a thing. Like, this track's going to change. The grip levels are going to change with the nighttime coming. Maybe Robert Rayner makes the adjustments he needs and is able to get in position to battle with this five as he's still hanging on to second right now ahead of Justice Murphy, James Loveland, and Sean Huffstetter, your top five.
Well, I see what he already did already there, Zach, is he's doing what Jason's doing. He's taking that left rear going through 3 and 4 and taking it all the way down to that white line. He wasn't doing that in the first stage. He's doing it now.
Yeah, I think the big thing that Finsler's doing there with that is he's getting a pretty straight exit when he gets down that low. He's getting really low late in the corner and kind of pointing that car off down towards the end of the straightaway, and it's really helped his exits. Just listening to the inside of the car, I mean, it sounds perfect the way he's driving, and he's starting to pull a gap again to these guys ahead of him. When does Loveland try to make a run? I mean, he was very quick that last run, but if he gets stuck behind Murphy and Raider here, riding in that dirty air kills your tires. So you got to be able to make quick passes and not get held up.
We'll ride with Finsler here through 3 and 4. Listen to the throttle control.
Yeah, I think the fans would love that and enjoy listening to Finsler out here. Really just super smooth just listening to this guy. So we'll listen to him here on this lap and hear what it sounds like. Crossing the start finish line. Now you can just hear how gentle he is on the throttle and how he's just applying it. Very nice rolling out of that throttle. Here's now we hop on board with our second place man. Let's hear how he's doing. Beautiful sights and sounds too for the Homestead Miami Speedway's the XL4. That's a big old glowing ball of light there.
Yeah, now what I'm taking away from that, what I heard is so smooth, like you said with Jason. But Robert seems like he's a little bit more loose coming out of 1 and 2 here. You can watch the wheel. You see how he's swaying it back and forth. And the tires are just a little bit louder than Jason. Now, they don't sound mad, but there's more tire wear. You can literally, if you listen really closely that last time by, you listen, you hear that little squeegee noise on the tires. That's the tires sliding across the track. You hear that's tire wear, and his is a little bit more louder as there for Robert there, Zach, than it was on Jason. And right there, see how that thing it steps out on him coming out.
Yeah, I think you can hear that very well, Robert. That tire sound is one of the things we use as drivers on the sim to really tell if we're using them. Sometimes you can't feel it as well. It's better just to hear it. And there you can see behind now, Robert Raiders, we were right on board. James Loveland has made the pass on Justice Murphy in that 9 machine up to that 3rd position. Let's see what he can do as we're under 10 to go now in this stage. So he's not got much time. This is a little bit of a shorter stage due to the caution laps.
Why do I got a funny feeling I'm going to have to make a Grand Slam logo and post it?
Hey, man, he would be a hard guy to bet against, that number 5 mission.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling.
He's just got it down, man. I mean, it's right here. I mean, that time by 34-44. Robert Rayner 34-54, so a 10th of a second there. Loveland 34-46, so only 200 of time there lost to the leader. And then 34-67 to Huffstetter and 34-70 to Justice Murphy. So few guys definitely struggling as the run goes on here compared to our leader. But we'll have to see what they can do to produce some time here as we're looking back at the 48 now of Parker Johnston. As it looks like he got by Christopher Heights, but here comes Heights back in the 21 to see if he can get back around, as that's the battle for 13th.
Yeah, as they were battling up, well, not battling up front, but as we were talking about them up front, there is some good battling going on back here, especially between these two, like you said there, Zach. 13. Whoa, Christopher Heights looked like he got, and man, he entered turn 1 and 2 very, very wrong there, and that's gonna give Jacob there in that 3 a shot to try to get by him, but doesn't look like that Red Bull machine's gonna be able to do it. But he's gonna try it again here in 3 and 4 and see if he can hold his ground here, Zach. And looks like he's gonna be able to as of right now, side by side.
Yeah, directly side by side here. These two as they go down the front straight away. This is the battle for 14th position here tonight. Jacob Sekrovich, he looks like he'll get clear. Can he slide up in front of the 21? It looks like he will. Now put him up to 14th as the X off of 2 here. The 21 going to have a run to the outside. 3 gives that lane to him. Didn't close the door. And now they go back to 3 and 4 side by side. But it looks like the 3 will clear here on entry. But the thing is, here comes the 21 with a pretty good run. Now the 3 side by side with the 48 of Parker Johnston off of 4.
Wow. And that's going to open up to Kevin Orlando Jr. there. He's looking down on the inside of Christopher Heights now, going into 1 and 2. That's not. No, sorry. Who is that? Is that a lap down car?
I believe that's the 81 of Eddie Wilderbuck.
Yeah,
okay. He
okay.
is 1 lap down.
Okay, I do apologize. I thought that was Kevin there. I was like, wow. But then I realized it was the number 27, which is not up there battling. Not yet.
Ooh, we got a battle for second, too. James Loveland. He's gone to the inside of Robert Rader here, trying to take that second position and claw himself closer and closer to that 5 of Jason Finsler, his arch rival from last season.
Now, it looks like, as we're on lap 57 of 110 here, Zach, it looks like Jason Finsler's going to win stage number 2. So he's going to have 3 out of the 4 of the Grand Slam right now. But this last run here, oh, never mind. They got a fast repair because James Loveland just smacked down the wall.
Oh, he got a good 2, Robert. He got with the right rear, right front, everything. I mean, that's heavy damage on that 56, and they do have a fast repair. Oh, he's about wrecking off a 2 there after that damage. So he's just got to hang on to this thing. Loveland, very quick. I mean, we've seen actually a few times in the Truck Series last season where very quick moments for him, but also had some meltdown moments where he just all went away from him very suddenly. And trying not to replicate that here as they come across the line with 2 to go here in the stage. He's just got to try to hang on here to third as Huffstetler closing in the 94.
Ain't it amazing how racing and how fast you can be? Everything was looking good. You hit the wall, and now all of a sudden that car is evil on him, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at it. It's swaying back and forth out of the turns. It's not handling the way it needs to be.
I believe Finsler will be coming out of 4 this time. Yeah, across the start to finish line. This will be the white flag for stage number 2. There's Loveland. Just big moments for him exiting the corner right now. He is very, very loose.
What happened?
Right front damage now. This is some issue. Robert, your question, what happened? I've seen where there's been times where right front damage has produced the car that will actually loosen up. So maybe that is the case we're playing here. I mean, he did take a pretty hard collision to the wall with the right rear especially. And Huffstetler playing no games here. He's going to try to get the one, but I don't think he'll be able to get there as Loveland holds on. And we should be having a caution flag here at any moment for the stage. And there it is. Caution is out for stage number 2. Jason Finsler, 3rd box checked in the Freaky Fast Grand Slam category. Let's see what he does on pit lane here to put himself in position to possibly pull off that Grand Slam here in the final segment of this race in final 50 laps.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Jason on getting that check mark number 3 here, winning stage number 2 of tonight's here race at Homestead here with the Underdog Racing League. With that being said, these guys are going to get ready to come down, get 4 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel, and get ready for the last stint of the race and see who can bring home that victory. But with that being said, we're going to quick run to a commercial break. And brought to you by McConey Setup Shop and iRacing.com. So we'll be right back to watch the rest of this final action here with Underdog Racing League.